unlike in previous years when many arrived from Chelsea due to the connection between the owners. The change of ownership at both clubs has seen Vitesse's loan players come from less sizable European clubs. Ten minutes and I think quite similar to the game against Sparta here. Quite similar to the match in Sittard last week so far from PSV. Dominating the ball, but no killer touch in the final third at the moment. El Ghazi. Here is Deel. Again, Joey Veerman only on the bench tonight. Sankare clicks through the gears, and the 1-2 has left it disappointed with Luke de Jong. Would have been a golden chance had he got it back. Scherpen, who is enormous, and when he jumps, he's even higher. He must have thought he was about to be seriously tested here. Magnificent from Sangare. Credit Moulenstein. Now Ghazi. Vieira tries to close down Sangare. For Sanko. Referee, I think, was playing an advantage. Branthwaite, it's a lovely ball. Mwene. Simons battling away. Might have been a free kick. Referee lets the game go on. And Arquist as well. In 1989 was the last time that Vitesse were in the second tier. Well, before Philip Cocu was a player, and it was at Vitesse where he truly made his name. Philip Cocu's always associated now with PSV, but 5 years as a player at Vitesse, and it was there and his performances which had PSV calling in the mid-90s. 2 spells here, and then one hugely successful one as a coach as well. Van Bommel recently as well. PSV, and now Ruud van Nistelrooy. Former players back in charge, but Ruud van Nistelrooy would be happy in the short term with even half of Philip Cocu's achievements, you would suggest, as a coach here in Eindhoven. Empty seats, as you can see. 8 o'clock kickoff. It's a pretty wild night. Icy as well, which may be one of the reasons there are some empty slots. Branthwaite here has got a bang on the lip, I think. Van Nistelrooy very much trusting him. Centre back, and again tonight Sangare wins the throw-in. No great sense of urgency yet from PSV. Branthwaite with another perfect pass to Xavi Simons. immediately. And he sets his team off. Not just going to sit back. Tronstad slipped, but got the pass away. Sanko. Times this season has looked very dangerous for Vitesse. As he blocks the pass, and Moulensteen's touch was tested there by de Jong. Nice move this from Vitesse. Had the ball for 60 seconds probably. Vitesse's in the way. El Ghazi, de Jong. Simons. The move was good, and he has released PSV perfectly. Big chance here for de Jong. Outside of the post. Touch of genius from Xavi Simons, and Vitesse were completely undone. He's not scored enough for this season for PSV, by his own admission, Luc de Jong, and it's his first sight this evening. Missed a decent chance against Fortuna Sittard. Now PSV were behind and then led and were pegged back late. Xavi Simons, whenever he's on the ball, PSV do look dangerous, and that is a gorgeous ball. And Sheppen denies El Ghazi with a very good save. Well, he's back in the front three and he's making PSV tick, young Xavi Simons. Till knew he was offside, that's why he left it. El Ghazi was definitely onside, and he was caught. That's why he's requiring some treatment as Ruud van Nistelrooy chats with Eric Gutierrez. Oh, it was pretty late. Got the shot away, and whether it impacted the effort, slightly grey area in the rules as to when a tackle like that can be given as a foul or not. El Ghazi isn't complaining. Koku's side, having looked pretty comfortable at the back, have just had two scares in the space of a couple of minutes. And it's the two players, El Ghazi and de Jong, that they really need firing now, with no Gakpo and Madueke, who haven't managed to take the chances. The game is yet to get back underway. Just wonder whether Edwin van der Graaf is having a look at that. He's had a while, given the length of treatment for Anwar El Ghazi. And I think he's just told Sondre Transtedt they are checking for a possible penalty. And I'm not surprised that he's going over to the monitor. PSV may just be given the chance to take the lead. The last angle we saw, El Ghazi was caught, definitely. But did it affect his chance to beat Kjell Scherpen with the shot? I guess they have to determine whether Gustil was interfering. There's a lot to check. It was a very late tackle, but had he already got the effort away, when you see that angle on the bottom right, it doesn't look good from a Vitesse perspective. It's a huge call here for Paul van Boekel. Was the ball gone? How bad is the challenge as well? You can see Paul van Boekel looking and looking again. Is there enough evidence that the decision should be overturned and changed? Ruud van Nistelrooy is hoping. And there are a few whistles now inside Philips Stadion at the length of this check. There's one last lingering look. And he's given a penalty. It's going to be a yellow card as well. Natusz Biro immediately asks a question of the referee. Mitchell Dykes goes into the book. And Anwar El Ghazi and PSV have the perfect opportunity to break the deadlock. Kjell Scherpen stands tall, very tall. He is the biggest goalkeeper in the Eredivisie and one of the biggest in any of Europe's major leagues. He always scored from the spot. But how about Luuk de Jong? Big moment this for PSV. Oh, it's tame from Luuk de Jong. And Vitesse will believe that justice has been done. PSV's troubles in front of goal continue. Scherpen just dived on it. Luuk de Jong scored his penalty in the World Cup quarter-final against Argentina, but not there. Sanko's header. Sense of injustice now, and Biro was caught late. Free kick. Well, it was a very comfortable save from Scherpen. Did he have both feet or one foot behind the line? Would seem tough on Vitesse had they had a look at that, but Luuk de Jong still only a couple of goals and not since November. Meanwhile, Maximilian Wittek has lined this up from well over 30 metres out. Wittek. Cross-come shot, I think, and then the deflected effort will go behind for a corner. Gutierrez with the block. trots back into the heart of defence. First test from a set piece tonight for PSV Eindhoven. Dykes and Meulenstein to aim for. First header was won by Vitesse, and then a very nasty collision. Both players immediately went down. It's de Jong and Meulenstein, and there's a considerable amount of blood. This was nasty, very nasty. And let's hope that both players are okay. Immediately it looked like Luc de Jong had come off worse. Meulenstein is sat up. Concern here, more at the moment for de Jong. Meulenstein has walked off already. Certainly going to be a bandage applied, and they'll have to do the checks, I would think, for concussion. That was his penalty. It wasn't a great one. Oh, you see that angle. Wonder whether the goalkeeper was in a legal position when the ball was kicked, but Ruud van Nistelrooy will be wondering what has to happen for his captain to score at the moment. Bet he would have loved to have put himself on that spot kick. He was an unbelievable finisher. They do have the concussion substitute in the Eredivisie now. Player welfare needs to be taken into consideration, and will. It was a really nasty blow, in particular for de Jong. One of those that the whole stadium felt as it happened. Good to see that de Jong is back to his feet, but see if he is okay to carry on. Well, he's at the very least going to have to be patched up here. PSV playing with 10 at the moment. This is why. De Jong headed the ball away. Meulenstein was in full flight, really, when they collided. Vitesse. Two long stops now in the last 5 or 10 minutes, which see what that does to the momentum of the match. De Jong doesn't look like a player who is going to be quickly coming back on, and change is imminent here. It might not be for the rest of the match, though. An opportunity that de Jong, we shall see. Still at the moment has gone into the centre forward position, more of a false 9 really. No de Jong yet, still the ball goes long towards Xavi Simons. Branthwaite wins the header. Here is Matos Pereira. Now Million Manhoff. Vitesse have certainly had their moments tonight. Walter Benitez plucks that one out of the night sky. Tronstad. And Vitesse are against the 10 men momentarily, having a long spell of possession. Manhoff. Simons for company. And he did well there because he ensures that Johan Bakayoko can come on. And that is the end of Luc de Jong for this evening, the captain's armband. See who it ends up with, but Bakayoko will be captained by Walter Benitez for the rest of the encounter. Two goals this season, Bakayoko, and up until October, when he picked up an injury, was a real bright spark for PSV. Timely return this evening. Simons, by the looks of things, has gone in the middle. So he and Bakayoko and El Ghazi might be quite fluid. It's El Ghazi now there. Midweek matches coming up in terms of Luc de Jong's availability. Start of a very busy period, or the middle, I suppose. PSV still in all of the competitions. European football returning next month. Obispo. Now Ghazi rises. Gutierrez and now Sangare. It's a cute pass to Gutierrez again. Simons. Well, Marcus was the wrong side. He says he got the ball. You're always on the risk when you challenge from there, and Paul van Boekel very quickly gives PSV the free kick. Kjell Scherpen is worried enough to position a three-man wall. It's a long way out, but El Ghazi could go for goal, might go for goal, does go for goal, and it was a very poor effort. Listen to that reaction. Here is El Ghazi. First player in the box was in the Vitesse shirt. Manhoff forward, Branthwaite. Sanko wins the battle, and there's a man over here. Pass was behind Wittek, otherwise he really might have been in business. Ball into Biro, who's picked up some nice positions again tonight. Only scored 20 all season, Vitesse. 17 games in all competitions before tonight. Biro, one of those with 3 goals, is their joint top scorer. They have not flowed at all. They are compact and they don't lose many games, that is for sure. Philip Koku has brought back resilience since replacing Thomas Ledge. Mühlenstein. It's going to be Vitesse ball. It's very quiet inside Philip Stadin at the moment. set piece potentially. Similar game to the Sparta Rotterdam match here 2 weeks ago, and sort of the game just before the World Cup break. And PSV haven't won any of their last 3 in the Eredivisie. November 2019, the last time they went 4 without a win, but Vitesse on the attack here is a very ordinary delivery. And either side of the penalty miss, it's been a very bitty period of the game. There's going to be a huge amount of added on time, you would expect. Branthwaite manages to get his pass out. Manhoff. Tronstad. He goes through to Benitez. Gutierrez with the firm pass back here to Obispo. Back to the summer when Erik ten Hag left Ajax, left an all-conquering team really, and all the departures from Amsterdam. PSV were hoping it was going to be their time. Kept Gakpo and Sangare and Madueke in the summer. Not a huge amount of optimism in the air right now in Eindhoven. Bakayoko could do with a performance tonight. He's found Till. We've barely seen who's Till tonight. Sangare. Simons, who is the one player, again, who you think might make something happen. Obispo did well there, and he was banged into. Referee lets the game go on. Desi. Branthwaite's ball. It's a dangerous one, and Manhoff got there. Simons comes away with it and rides one challenge, stopped by Tronstad. That was a good tackle. Merlenstein. Flamingo back to Merlenstein. Schappen. Good distance on his clearance. Till. Well, that might fall away of El Ghazi again. Schappen was on the money, on the move. And he came through at Ajax. Big things will hope for Kjell Schappen, not just because of the huge height and frame that he has. Quite happen at Brighton. Initially he was kept almost as the third goalkeeper and not allowed out on loan last season, but did eventually get to Belgium and now to Vitesse. Bakayoko. Now Obispo. Branthwaite. Tessa holding a decent line. It's a poor ball in the end, but it's well played from Till. Bakayoko. Schappen with the save. It was bright there from the hosts. Schappen was comfortable enough. The first part very nicely though did Bakayoko. Scored a couple of goals in August. 4-1 win and a 7-1 win at home. But PSV feel a long way at the moment from that type of display. And not just because the big names have left. Philippe Cocu, 41 minutes on his return to the club that served with such distinction. I think we'll be pretty happy with the way things are going. It's a dangerous ball, and Vitesse's touch wasn't the best. Wittek was in to win it. Since there is the chance for Vitesse here to not just get 1 point tonight. Till, no free kick either way. Merlin-Steed scampers forward. He then does foul Sangare. You suggest to Paul van Boekel that it might be a little more than just a free kick. Vitesse pick up the loose ball. See if in the second half the tactics change. Luc de Jong very much the out-and-out centre forward. Troy and where El Ghazi is in terms of balls forward. It's probably the biggest front three. Benitez looks for El Ghazi, and again it comes the way of Tronstad. Tries to pick out Manhoff. Obispo. Pressure is beginning to build on PSV. And we started the weekend 5 points behind Feyenoord, but in fourth. Matchweek 17, and Philippe Cocu knows a thing or two about winning the Eredivisie. So does Ruud van Nistelrooy. But it's definitely not just going to be PSV and Ajax and Feyenoord this season in the hunts. Go to Enschede or Alkmaar, and AZ and Twente supporters believe too. They see the fragility in PSV and Ajax, and that gives the rest of the league big hope. Feyenoord are making the most of it at the moment. Ghazi caught there by Tronstad. Remember, only twice this century has the league title not ended up in Eindhoven or Amsterdam. Feyenoord, a giant club. The budget is significantly smaller than PSV and Ajax. Now, Vitesse might be in business here. Wittek, lovely. And it will come through to Manhoff. Understand there's going to be 7 minutes added on time, and the first of which might be a corner for Vitesse. That is the decision. Confirmation that it is 7. Long VAR check before the penalty from Luc de Jong was saved, and then a couple of minutes later the head injury for de Jong and the treatment for that. Well, they've surrounded Walter Benitez here for this corner, Vitesse. Late opportunity perhaps for the visiting side, and it hits the outside of the post. Benitez dived back into his goal, claimed that he had it covered. Obispo with the groans again. Pace of the attack was slow from PSV, and Manhoff did well. Man, that was a poor clearance, unnecessary really, and here is Simons. Very good piece of defending, comes back as far as Mwene. Sangare. Simons again, brilliant ball, Shepherd dives on it, and in the end did really well. Well, Xavi Simons, again, is the one player in PSV colours who is threatening to light up their attacking performance. Sangare had to gather that. Play a very nice one too, but he then has to bounce off another challenge. Simons again. I feel he's going to have to play very well in the second half of the season. Bakayoko. Dykes did well, and that's why he gets the high five from Maximilian Wittek. League goals for Xavi Simons. If he were to score again tonight, he'd be in a very illustrious club of PSV players to have scored 10 Eredivisie goals before their 20th birthday. This century only Madueke, recently departed for Chelsea, Memphis Depay and Ian Robben have got there. He has until April, and it would be a great surprise if he doesn't reach that figure. Sangare dispossessed, then does well to make the interception, but Teze passes that one out of play. Matos Biro scampering around. Well, in September and October, PSV couldn't stop scoring here. The worry was the amount of goals they were conceding at the other end. Here's Bakayoko. Failed to score against RZ before the World Cup. They failed to score against Sparta 2 weeks ago, and they haven't yet scored against Vitesse. But maybe that will change in this attack. Merlenstein heads it away. Wittek, he took his time there, and Gustil wins it back. Bakayoko. Gutierrez. Mwene's shot. Xavi Simons picks it up. We've almost had 5 added minutes. Simons couldn't pick anybody out, and Gutierrez was not then fouled according to the referee. And Obispo did well. Ruud van Nistelrooy is furious with Paul van Boekel. Two minutes left at the end of this first half. It's been a case of recent history repeating itself, really, from a PSV point of view. Merlenstein. Now Dykes back to centre half. Monaco to try and win. It's going to pop back for Manhoff here. Bispo was onto him immediately. 1-2 was the right idea, but Alexakis couldn't get there, and Philippe Cocu was left frustrated. There were some in the Netherlands that worried whether the Vitesse job was a bit of a poison chalice for Philippe Cocu with all of the changes behind the scenes. And left here for Fenerbahce. Looked like his coaching career was going to carry on the upward trajectory. It didn't work in Turkey, didn't really work for Philippe Cocu at Derby, in England either. He's made Vitesse difficult to play against at the moment, and as he's been saying, once that is fixed, if you like, then you can think about being more creative going forward. This is his first transfer window, of course, as well. Here's Xavi Simons. Sangare. Didn't go for goal. Mouet will keep it in, but Manhoff is there. And PSV still can't score at home. Xavi Simons has done his best in the first half. It wasn't a particularly happy crowd when that whistle went for Ruud van Nistelrooy and his team. Luc de Jong missing the penalty and then going off with a head injury. And at the break, it's PSV 0, Vitesse 0. And there's some glum-looking PSV supporters. Kjell Scherpen with that stop. He's not been overstretched, really. And PSV just can't find this formula without Cody Gakpo and now without Noni Madueke. At the break, they're dropping points once more. 0-0 in Eindhoven.